In the sun-kissed land of Australia, there exists a culinary treasure, a beloved spread that has captured the hearts and taste buds of generations, Vegemite. This dark brown, savoury delight is crafted from yeast extract, boasting a distinctive salty and slightly bitter taste that has become synonymous with Australian culture. Born in the culinary landscape of the 1920s, Vegemite has since solidified its status as an iconic Australian food product. It's a breakfast staple, often generously spread on toast or sandwiches, and cherished by young and old alike. Made from a harmonious blend of yeast extract, vegetables, and spices, Vegemite is not only a flavor sensation, but also a nutritional powerhouse, brimming with vitamins and minerals. Whether you're a first-time visitor to the land down under, or a lifelong fan, no journey to Australia is truly complete without savouring the unique experience of Vegemite. But what makes Vegemite even more special is its connection to the Australian spirit of egalitarianism. In a land where all spreads are treated equally, Vegemite stands as an acquired taste, a testament to the resilience and determination of the Australian people. It took 2 decades for Vegemite to transform from an initial failure into the marketing success story it is today. For many Australians, Vegemite is a cherished part of their childhood, a source of nostalgia that transcends generations. The late Helen Reddy, a prominent Australian-American figure, once humorously noted that her return to Australia was driven by one simple reason: "I ran out of Vegemite." To truly understand the Vegemite story, one must begin with the name, Fred Walker. Born on January 5, 1884, in Hawthorn, Melbourne, Fred Walker embarked on a journey that would forever alter Australia's culinary landscape. In his youth, he worked for the Queensland Meat Company, dealing in preserved dairy and pork products. At just 19, he set sail for Hong Kong, where he founded Fred Walker and Company, an import-export business. In 1907, Fred returned to Melbourne and established his trading operations on Flinders Street. This marked the birth of the Fred Walker Company in 1911, specializing in the production and export of canned foods and dairy products. During this time, he also introduced red feather, a potted cheese that would pave the way for his culinary ventures. The outbreak of World War I saw Fred Walker serve in the Australian military forces, ultimately reaching the rank of captain. However, he was denied further active service due to the critical role of food production during wartime. In 1918, Fred's company ventured into the production of Bonox, a beef extract product, and expanded its operations to Adelaide, Sydney, and New Zealand. In 1920, the company acquired South Melbourne College at Albert Park, further solidifying its manufacturing capabilities. However, financial troubles plagued the company in 1922, pushing it to the brink of liquidation. Fred Walker had to heed the demands of the National Australasia Bank, leading to significant changes in company leadership and structure. The reformed company was named Fred Walker and Company. Fred Walker's aspiration was to emulate the success of Marmite, a salty paste derived from spent brewer's yeast. To accomplish this, he secured a deal with Carlton and United Breweries to obtain brewer's yeast. In 1923, a pivotal moment arrived when Cyril Callister assumed the role of head chemist at Fred Walker and Company. Tasked with transforming a ghastly, pungent, brown, and bitter yeast mash from Cub's Abbotsford factory into a delectable food product, Cyril Callister took the challenge head-on. As Vegemite took shape under Cyril's guidance, the time had come to christen this new creation. A public competition was launched, offering a £50 prize for the most fitting name. Fred Walker himself struggled to select one name from the numerous entries, so he placed them all in a hat and asked his daughter Sheila to draw one. Thus, Vegemite was born in 1923. Initially marketed as the pure vegetable extract and positioned as a health food for children, Vegemite faced a slow start in winning over the public. By the end of 1924, the company even contemplated removing Vegemite from store shelves as financial difficulties mounted. However, a pivotal meeting in October 1924 between Fred Walker and J.L. Kraft of J.L. Kraft and Brothers from the United States would alter Vegemite's trajectory. This collaboration led to the formation of Kraft Walker Cheese Company in May 1926, which began producing Kraft cheddar cheese at the South Melbourne plant. Subsequent expansions followed, including the leasing of a factory owned by Warrnambool Cheese and Butter in November 1934. Despite numerous challenges, Vegemite persisted, experimenting with slogans and advertising campaigns. In 1926, the name Parwill instead of Vegemite briefly graced Western Australian, Queensland, South Australian, and Tasmanian markets. The catchphrase was Marmite but Parwill. Yet, the name Vegemite endured in Melbourne, Sydney, and other East Coast cities, as Marmite remained dominant. To boost sales, Vegemite launched an innovative promotion, offering customers the chance to win a car. These campaigns not only attracted attention, but also allowed the public to sample Vegemite at a discount, postage-free. The Sunday Times, from Sydney reported the results of one such competition on January 30, 1927, highlighting the impact of creative marketing on Vegemite's success. By 1929, it became evident that the Parwill experiment had faltered, and Fred Walker realized the need for change. In July 1935, at the age of 51, Fred Walker passed away. The early 1930s marked a turning point as Vegemite's sales finally began to surge. Advertising campaigns increasingly emphasized the health benefits of Vegemite due to its high vitamin B content. Then, in 1939, as the shadows of World War II loomed over Europe, Vegemite found itself in an unexpected position of prominence. Marmite, its competitor, became unavailable in Australia, and Vegemite captured the market. In July 1939, Sir Cedric Stanton Hicks, a renowned professor of human physiology and pharmacology at the University of Adelaide, appointed the district catering supervisor of the 4th Military District in Adelaide, played a pivotal role. Hicks founded the Australian Army Catering Corps and included Vegemite in Army rations. Wartime austerity made Vegemite scarce for the general public, with advertisements featuring taglines like "Someone must be getting all the Vegemite," and stories of young Peter's mother reserving it for Daddy Darling. In 1939, Vegemite earned official endorsement from the British Medical Association for its nutritional value, particularly as a rich source of B vitamins. This recognition further bolstered its reputation. By the end of World War II, Vegemite had secured its place in the hearts and homes of Australians, becoming a ritualistic necessity. However, its appeal remained perplexing to analysts, not because of its inability to conquer overseas markets, but because of its unparalleled success in Australia. The ownership of Vegemite underwent several changes over the years. From 1926 to 1939, Vegemite was produced by Fred Walker and Co. Party Limited. Post-merger, from 1951 to 2012, it was produced by Kraft Foods Limited. In 2012, the snack food business of Kraft Foods Limited was renamed Mondelez International, and Vegemite became one of its products. However, in January 2017, the majority of Mondelez International's Australia and New Zealand grocery and cheese business transitioned to the Australian-owned Bega Cheese Group, bringing Vegemite back under Australian ownership. Vegemite's journey was not just about taste, it was also about its place in pop culture. In 1954, a memorable radio campaign, produced by J. Walter Thompson Advertising, introduced the Happy Little Vegemite theme. Energetic youngsters sang a catchy jingle that became etched in the nation's memory. "We are happy little Vegemites. As bright can be. We all enjoy our Vegemite. For breakfast, lunch, and tea. Our mummies say we are growing stronger. Every single week. Because we love our Vegemite. We all adore our Vegemite. It puts a rose in every cheek." In 1956, Vegemite leaped onto television screens, continuing to the 1960s. The 60s marked a shift as Vegemite expanded its appeal beyond children and began targeting audiences of all ages. In the 1980s, the original black and white commercial was remastered and partially colorized. In 1981, Vegemite achieved iconic status when it appeared in the song Down Under by Australian pop icons Men at Work. The mention of a Vegemite sandwich in the song solidified its place in Australian culture. Today, Vegemite proudly bears both halal and kosher certifications, catering to diverse dietary preferences. Although there was a brief cessation of kosher production in 2004, it was reinstated in 2005 following community backlash. By 2010, all jars and tubes of ordinary Vegemite featured the kosher stamp. For new migrants to Australia, sharing Vegemite with their children became a way to assimilate into Australian culture. Vegemite's role in fostering cultural unity was highlighted in a 1984 news clipping from the Canberra Times. In a land where Vegemite reigns supreme, it's important to note that not everyone is a fan. As Marvin Schwartz wrote in the Canberra Times in 1988, Vegemite's unique taste and texture have not won over every palate. It's black, gooey, has a smell that can clear the sinuses as quickly as a sharp sniff of Vicks. Looks like a hive of splattered, sun-faded bumblebees when it's spread on bread and butter. But, for every Australian under the age of 12, it's our national dish. In the ever-evolving tapestry of Australian culture, Vegemite remains an enduring symbol, a culinary legend, and a taste of home for millions.